Hi everyone, welcome to my presentation. In today's presentation, I'm going to be sharing some tech snacks with you. I know you all might have already seen me a couple of times during this conference, so just quick introduction. I am Gift Egwuenu. I work as a front-end developer at Passionate People. So what is Tech Snacks? If you were here on Monday, you've probably seen me presenting one already on Design Ops. Tech Snacks is a series where we share tech updates, new releases from across all the web, and it's brought to you by passionate people. So today I'm going to be sharing some tech snacks with you. Don't worry, it's not going to be actual snacks, right? But tech snacks is going to be on Vue because obviously today is Vuejs Amsterdam. So I'm going to be sharing with you some new releases, some new updates, and some interesting articles you should check out in this conference. So if you would like to see our previous episodes or you're just interested to see what I am really talking about, then I would recommend you check out our website, passionatepeople.io/techsnacks, and also our YouTube channel. Without further ado, let's get into the actual snacks for today. So the first thing I have on my list here is this announcement from Egwuenu, and this is quite interesting. It's Vite version 2 is now released and has support for a couple of frameworks that are out there. Not to spoil the fun for you, this is an example demo that shows you how Create React app differs from Vite, the Vite version for React, and how fast Vite is compared to Create React app. So Vite is a build tool for front-end web development that is framework agnostic, and this has been something Egwuenu has been working on for like some time now, and I'm very excited to see that version 2 has been released. I've been keeping my eye on it for some time, and I'm looking forward to when I can actually use this with Nuxt. And in the meantime, I will just share with you what's new in Vite version 2. Like I mentioned, it's now framework agnostic, meaning that it's not just for Vue. It can be used for like React, Preact, or Lit element. There is also a new plugin format and a new API. It also has first-class CSS support, which is very interesting to see. There is server-side rendering support. There's an option to opt into legacy browser support as well. So as I am here quite excited already about all of this, I would very much want you to definitely check it out. You can check out also if you're interested to see how this Vite compares to other build tools. There is also a very detailed document about that in the Vite website. So this is a comparison with other no bundler solutions like Snowpark, WMR, and Web Dev Server. So you should definitely check that one out. And talking about announcements, Amplify, AWS Amplify just released support for Vue 3 for their Amplify libraries. If you were here on Wednesday, Alice Peter gave a talk about the new AWS Amplify admin UI, which I found very interesting. But in this release, they're actually releasing support for Vue 3. They're telling you that now you can actually use Vue 3 with AWS Amplify libraries. And this walks you through how to set up a new Vue 3 app and how to use it with AWS Amplify libraries. So this is very interesting to see. If you're thinking about using Amplify for anything and you are also very excited about Vue 3, there is now a possibility for you to work with it. So I am quite excited about this and seeing like more and more frameworks and libraries and, having support for Vue 3. Speaking of that, probably I should move this over because this is quite related to what I just said. Speaking of Vue 3 and support, this is another announcement from Kai King, who is the core maintainer of Vue X, and he's saying that Vue X4 is here and it has been shipped. The great thing about this release is that this Vue X4 supports Vue 3, so it's a compatibility release for Vue 3, meaning that what VS3 could do for Vue 2, you can now use VX4 for that in Vue 3. And it also comes with some breaking changes, so you should take note of that as well when you're migrating. But this is quite exciting for the Vue community at large. And moving on, and this is another interesting piece from Snipcats where they are sharing like tips and tricks on how to debug a Vue.js application. I would say as developers, debugging is something that we cannot run away from. Like it's always going to be something you have to do while writing code. So if you're thinking about ways to improve your debugging experience as you write your Vue.js application, this is an interesting piece you should definitely check out. I like it because it has a couple of like humor here and there, as well as sharing you actionable tips. So it's exploring different ways and strategies that you can use for debugging your application, like tools that you can use. A couple of people already use VS Code. Console.log is like one of the most popular way of debugging, but yeah, it's showing you different ways and different strategies. I think the ones that I would like to highlight here is he sharing the strategy of the debugger's playbook, right? Things that you should have at the back of your mind when you're debugging. At first, you know that console.log is like one of the neatest trick and one of the most popular ones that we use, but it's also sharing like different other strategies that you can also use. And also walking you through a quick tutorial of all the strategies and tips that he shared in a quick tutorial. So here is showing you how to install the Vue.js application and how to debug it. So quite an interesting piece for you to check out, I would say. The next one is a tutorial on how to publish a Vue, Angular, React, specifically Vue, because this is supposed to be a Vue focused snacks. But here you can pretty much publish an Angular, Vue, React Svelte app to Azure Static Web Apps right now. And this is a tutorial walking you through how to do that. But first, what is Azure Static Web Apps? Azure Static Web Apps is a service from Microsoft Azure where they allow you deploy a static web app or a Jamstack application. So this is very interesting to see. When you think about deployment, I would say what comes to mind for me is Netlify or Vercel, but now this is new and I think it was released around July last year. So it's very good to see that it has support for all of these different frameworks. You should definitely check it out as well. The next snack on my list is how to use WebSockets with your Vue project. WebSockets is when you think about building real-time notification or real-time application. WebSockets would be like a tool that you want to use. So WebSockets is a great tool for showing real-time data in your application. And this tutorial walks you through how to set it up and how to use it with a Vue.js app. It's quite short, but it has like a very great example on how to use it in Vue. So yeah, pretty much if you want to do something similar to this, like real-time management in your application, you should definitely check this one out. The next one is an article from Netlify. It's from Ekene, and Ekene is sharing a deep dive into Vue Compositions API, the watch method of Vue Composition API. I really found this article very, very interesting and in-depth as well. In this article, he's going to walk you through how the watch API method works and also how to use it when dealing with like ref or reactive states, as well as array and objects. It's a very detailed article with examples as well. So definitely check it out if you're looking at exploring how the watch API method works. This other one is on SEO, SEO with Vue. SEO is a very important topic and something a couple of people struggle with. But this article here is sharing 4 ways to undo SEO with Vue, even without a Node server-side rendered app. The first one I would like to highlight here is how to use SEO on the client side with Google crawlers. Like using Google web crawlers on your application would help improve SEO. He's also sharing how it works, like with this diagram here, how the flow works. I think this is a very, very helpful article if you're thinking about solving a problem that has to do with SEO in your Vue.js application. The other one is on performance. Performance is also a very important topic in web development. Everybody is always looking towards or looking forward to how they can actually improve the performance of their application. And here, Alexi is showing us how 5 advanced tips on how to improve performance in our Vue.js application. The first one is by using deep object watchers, and he's sharing this with examples. I really like when articles like this, like sharing tips, always include examples as well with what they are trying to share, because it's one thing to share a tip and it's another thing to share how to actually do it. So this is quite interesting, and I would definitely recommend you check it out. The other method he's sharing is restricting reactivity using the object of freeze method. He's also sharing an example of how to do it. So yeah, quite interesting. So it's showing you, instead of doing it this way, right, you should do it this way. Very interesting. And it also has examples for Vue 2 and Vue 3. So if you're working with Vue 2, it has examples for you. And if you're working with Vue 3, it also has examples for you. This is very interesting. Finally, the last snack that I have for you today, it's still on performance in Vue. Who doesn't want to improve performance in their apps, right? This is a tutorial from Matthias, and he's sharing how to increase your rendering performance by 70% in Vue. This is a very catchy title, to be honest, and I don't see a reason why nobody will want to check it out, because obviously, who doesn't want a 70% increase performance in their apps? And the one thing that he starts with or is sharing is that by using functional components, you can definitely increase performance in your application by over 70%. And it's not just showing you how, it's also like talking about the reason why, like how it actually works. Why is it that way? And I found it very interesting to see that, okay, this is possible. And also he's sharing when to use it, because you might not want to use it in every case. You might not want to use a functional component in every case. By the way, a functional component is a component that does not have any states, that is a stateless component, right? So yeah, you should definitely check this one out. Well, that brings me to the end of the snacks that I wanted to share with you today. I hope you found them very helpful, and yeah, you found some interesting ones as well. If you'd like links to all of this, I'll leave them in the chat, as well as I'll upload them on our website. So you can go to passionatepeople.io/tech snacks to find the links to all of the snacks that I shared today. Thank you so much for listening to me and to my presentation. I'll see you all in the chat.